Good things come to women who sweat. Whether your 2019 goal is to lose weight, gain strength, or make significant lifestyle changes, Spa Ladies Women's Only Fitness Centers will help you achieve the body you've always wanted. Shape up and burn those unwanted areas off with unlimited group classes like Zumba, HIIT, yoga, and barre. For a limited time, enroll on select memberships and save 50% off for the first 8 weeks. Save money, get fit, and crush 2 resolutions at once. To learn more, visit one of Spa Lady's 8 Alberta locations or go to spalady.ca for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Divas That Care Network. My name is Candace Gish. Well, oh my goodness, this is my last show of 2018, and it's amazing how quickly this year went by. I just want to take a second here to thank all of our amazing guests that have been on this year and all of our amazing listeners. This was a fantastic year for the Divas That Care. We are so fortunate for, so many things, and it's been such a beautiful year for the fact that I've had the opportunity to interview some of the most amazing people out there, and it's just been so much fun. So thank you so much for everybody out there. And then today we have another brand new diva. And that's what I love about this show. We're always welcoming these amazing women to our family, and it really is. The Divas is an amazing family, a network of women that are committed to making the world a better place. And we're just always so fortunate and grateful for when these amazing women come onto our show. We have the opportunity to interview them and lock arms with them. It's really about you getting to know these women and seeing what the partnership that can develop between you guys. So thank you so much for everything. All right, let's get started. Our brand new diva is Liberty Forrest, and I'm really excited. Liberty's going to be coming on here. She's an award-winning author, columnist, and Huffington Post contributor. And I'm really excited because I really want to learn from her today. I had the opportunity to go through her website, and what an amazing thing that she has to offer and what she's doing with people. So let's get started. Liberty, welcome to our show today. I am so excited to have you.
Well, thank you so much for your invitation. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we're going to have so much fun today. We're going to end our year with a blast. So, Liberty, would you mind sharing with our listeners and myself a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for asking. I guess the thing that is most relevant to the conversation today is my abilities as a psychic and medium, which were kind of horrifying when I was a kid and didn't have a clue what that was all about back in the dark ages before there was any of this stuff on TV or anything. But over the years, that's all developed. And between that and my background in social work and counseling, I use those abilities to help people who are feeling stuck or trapped or lost or just needing some guidance. And it's just, it's an amazing thing to be able to either connect with spirit and, connect people with their loved ones in spirit or intuitively help them understand what's going on in their lives now and help them find a way forward.
Oh, I love that. Well, it's an interesting thing because, we hear a lot about mediums and, there's different people out there that do different programs. How did you get involved in this? Like, I find it quite fascinating. How did you, with a background in, social work, become a psychic and a medium?
Well, as I said, it started when I was a kid. I didn't ask for it, and it was kind of a curse. I mean, I woke up one morning, I dreamed that my 2 best friends were dead, and I couldn't shake the feeling, and I went to breakfast and told my parents about the dream, and they looked at each other like I had 6 heads. And my dad went around the corner, got the morning paper from the living room, and showed me an article, and they were dead. In fact, they'd been in an accident. So that was terrifying.
Oh, my gosh.
Because, bad enough to go through that when you're a kid and realize, oh, my God, kids die, and they're dead, and what? And then this added layer of how did I know this? How did I have this dream, and what does that mean? Because like I said, there were no TV shows. There were no, psychic medium things on TV. And there was none of that, psychic fairs. It wasn't a thing. So it was terrifying for a long time. But it just, after that, it was like the lid came off, and it just started to evolve naturally over the years. And then eventually I started being more brave about using the abilities and passing on messages. For example, I'd be sitting with someone and there'd be some spirit there trying to get my attention, and I didn't think I should say anything because this might upset this person. And eventually I figured that, I'm supposed to share whatever the message is. So it just sort of evolved, and I rejected it for a long time in terms of my work, and that's a whole other show all by itself. But eventually,
yes.
I just came to understand it's at least part of what I'm meant to do. It's a part of how I'm supposed to help people with their issues. Otherwise, I wouldn't have these abilities, because God knows I didn't really want them, but they're there and they just keep getting stronger. So it's like, okay.
And you know what, Liberty? I love this in the fact that I truly believe that we are all given gifts. We all, each and every one of us has been given a God-given gift to do things, to help people, to inspire others, to empower them in ways that we could never dream. And we don't know what these gifts are going to be. We're all unique. And I just love that, because, you know, and with your gift too, it's even more of a challenge than a lot of our other gifts that we have out there. It's because you're going to be dealing with people that don't understand. They can't wrap their mind how something like this could even be possible. And it takes a brave person to accept that gift and to really now help so many others out there.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was a gift for a long time, and I remember one of my daughters said to me one day, "Mom, it's not a gift for you, it's a gift for the people who get the messages that you need to give them." And I went, "Oh, thanks, Willow."
That's beautiful.
Such wisdom.
Oh my goodness, it is.
But you know, and you're right. I think too that there certainly are people who doubt and don't believe, and they're the ones who come and sit there with their arms folded across from you and say, "So, what color socks was he wearing when he died?" Like stupid. Well, okay, maybe not that, but you know what I mean. They ask these dumb questions because they're testing, and I think if you're here to just test my abilities, go home. If you want a message, I'll give you whatever message you're meant to get, but don't come and test me. So I have nothing to prove. If people believe in it, good. If they don't, I don't really give a rat's you know what. I'm just here doing my thing, and they can believe or not. That's not my issue or my concern. So I used to feel kind of intimidated by those people until I was more confident in myself, not in my abilities, but just overall in who I am, and stepping into my own power, and just being confident about why I'm on the planet, really. And after that, everything started to kind of fall into place. But yet I do remember feeling like I had to prove it to those people, and eventually I went, wait a minute, no, that's their problem, not mine. It's not why I'm here.
That's exactly it. And I like what you just said there too, is that you had to believe in yourself. And I think it comes down to that. There is so many people out there that, they just don't have that belief in themselves. They're scared. They're scared of what people think. And when we listen, and when I listen, especially to women like yourself that are really, I call you the game changers, the way makers, and that you're using that and you have that confidence to share with us, so that I can hear it in your voice, like you're shining. And I know that will give confidence to others that are like, okay, I'm not by myself. There's somebody out there that I will understand. And I just love that. And I love that I can have you on my show today just to share that message with others.
Oh, thank you. And well, you are a huge waymaker yourself, because look what you're doing with providing this show and this opportunity for people to hear loads of messages from lots of people. And you're right, about how important it is for others to hear these messages, because I think about how I grew up, and even in my early 40s, before my mother died, she was still telling me I didn't deserve anything good, and telling my husband not to be so nice to me. Well, now ex-husband, but because he wasn't always so nice to me. Anyway, I just grew up hearing, you're no good, you're not worth anything, like blah blah blah, like so many other people do. We hear that, and you believe it. So it was no easy task for me to get to the point of actually believing in myself. And we have to believe in ourselves before we can ever expect anyone else to really believe in us.
Oh my goodness, that's very true. That is true right there.
There are people who will believe in us even when we don't believe in ourselves, but somehow it's not the same, and they don't give you the same. It's almost more like a I don't know. I don't think it doesn't really provide the result that it needs to. So even if there are others out there who go, yeah, you can do it when you're doubting yourself, it's not until you believe it too. You have to believe it before anything can really happen in your life and make big changes.
And that's when you're coming full circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I want to dive into some of the things that you're doing right now. So tell us a little bit about, I went on your website and you have this thing, The Creative Healing, a 5-step guide to getting unstuck. Okay, so now our listeners are probably really intrigued. So what is this all about?
That was fun because I'm an artist as well and an author. So I've actually got a couple of what it is, the 5-step guide, it's 5 written pieces, sort of like a blog post length, and then each one has an image to color that goes with it and has a little quote or a blurb, that sums up the written bit. So it starts with kind of where are you now? Here's where you are. Figure out where you are now. What is it you need? What's not working for you? What do you want to change? And then it takes you through a few steps. Each of the 5 bits that you read kind of takes you through, here's the next step. So, now you've figured this bit out. Okay, what do we do next? And then the thing is, with coloring, as we know, all this coloring book craze in the last few years, we know now that it really does, it puts you in kind of a meditative, relaxed state. So, because I'm also a hypnotist and a meditation instructor, so I understand the power of the subconscious and the power of relaxation in terms of being able to digest those messages. So I thought, well, brilliant. It's one thing to just write some stuff that people can read, but it's another thing to write a blurb and then give them something they can color so they can download that bit and they can color the images while they're thinking about the steps that they just read, that information that they just read. And it can help to kind of digest and absorb that information on a deep level so it can be more useful. And then after you finish the 5-step guide, if you want, there's another 25-step blurb that they can purchase that. The 5-step guide is free, and then I think the next bit's like $7 or something. I don't know, it's not much, but anyway, it really does help. Excuse me. I've had a lot of people, pardon me, tell me that 5-step guide has been just the thing they needed to get moving again.
And I
it's
like
really
that,
simple.
And it's a simple thing, but women are so creative. And I know men are really creative too, but I find that, I don't know if everybody else feels this, but as I started getting older, I think I started getting more creative. I wanted to do more creative things. I wanted to find more creative outlets to express myself, and it always made me feel so much more relaxed and easygoing. Like I really found that when I started looking for these other outlets, it was just everything else seemed to balance a little bit better in my life.
Well, there are a couple of reasons for that. One of them is, actually, I did a couple of talks last year on the subject of spirituality and creativity, because your creativity, however that looks, is the expression of your spirit. It's the expression of who you are. And creativity doesn't necessarily mean art, music, dance, and crafts and stuff like that. It can be the way you problem solve. It can be that you're a great brainstormer. It can be the way you love to organize. There are lots of ways that we can be creative, but it is the expression of who you are. And it's only when you start to figure out who you are and you start releasing a lot of the stuff that you've been dealing with, or the baggage or the emotional things or all of that, when you really start to have clarity about who you are, that's when that creativity is kind of freed to be expressed. Did that make sense? I know what I'm trying to say.
It does, and it makes a lot of sense to me because, I always wondered, I'm like, okay, why is it that I want this and I crave this? I think I was always creative in other ways, but it seems like now it's like changing the directions, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm just embracing it, and I get excited. And it's that excitement that's like, okay, here we go. And I just have this, my kids laugh at me and say, you have a permagran on your face. I know. Isn't it exciting? I'm like, look at all the things that we can do. And they just laugh at me.
That's great. That's great. And that's because you are being more and more and more you, in the fullness of the expression of your spirit, which is the essence of who you are. We're not this, as one of my friends says, a human meat suit. That's not who we are. That's just the vessel. It's the physical thing that carries the spirit around, so to speak. But that spirit, that beautiful, pure, perfect spirit, that is who you really are. And that's what's starting to bubble up and come out as you're allowing yourself to get to know yourself and then express yourself. That's why you're feeling like that bubbly, wow, I just want to do more and be more and expand and explore. And I'm going to go try this now, because you're being you more fully. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it is. I think it's just
like
amazing.
Blowing the roof off your own life.
I love it. Oh, wow. Well, Liberty, okay, so now let's, we're talking about all these great things and things that you're doing. I want to know, I know you've got some great things happening that are taking place here in the next month, but I just want to kind of get a little bit back here. And I know that our listeners they're always asking, okay, what are these people doing? How can we work with them? I want to talk about your business now. I want to talk about how you are working with individuals and how maybe some of our listeners could work with you.
Well, currently, except for right this very minute, holiday time, but generally, I'm streaming on YouTube several times a week. I have a fabulous community there. I am so blessed. Holy smoke. I've got beautiful people there who are super supportive, and there are a lot of regulars who are there almost every time I'm streaming. And in the streams, if people have questions, they're stuck with some sort of a life problem, or they want to connect with a loved one in spirit or whatever, they can do that there. I also do private readings as well. Fairly booked up for a while, but I do try to squeeze people in here and there where I can. But the streaming is where I am mostly, and really loving that. The interaction amongst my YouTube community is amazing, the members there. I also started a Facebook group for my YouTube gang, because I'd be finishing the stream and saying, okay, well, I got to go now, got to get going, and they'd be saying, I don't want to go, we're having so much fun here. So I thought, all right, I created this Facebook group so they can hang out there and they can get to know each other. They can see pictures of each other, because otherwise they're just words in a chat window, right? They don't get to actually see each other. And we post some inspirational things there and fun things and music. So it's a really supportive community, and I've had the most amazing feedback from people. I don't just mean about the guidance I'm offering, but about the group in general and the support they feel, and everybody warmly welcomes new kids on the block, and will support them, especially if they're having a tough time. So important. It really is, and they don't feel alone anymore. And they've dubbed us the Fab Forrest family.
That is so cute.
Somebody kind of came up with this name, and it stuck. So, and on the Facebook group, we were it was the day I created the group. We were sort of wondering what to call it, or we were just having a conversation about the point of it, and something came up about people who don't fit in, and we all were saying, well, we don't fit in. I don't feel like I've ever fit in. I've never felt it either. So it's got the header, the picture. I made a little thing with all black sheep, and and it says, where we celebrate not fitting in. We love our uniqueness. I said, why would you want to fit in? The point is to be unique and just be your beautiful, unique, special self. That should be celebrated, not, don't try to be like everybody else. Come into our group and let's just support you in being completely who you're meant to be. So we have a wonderful time. There's some often we're giggling, and, there's some side chatter going on, and I don't care. I'm not, some people get really offended when they're talking and they see people in the chat having kind of side talk, but I love it. It's like, yeah, go giggle together, and I can see them with their wine glasses back and forth or whatever they're doing. They're, the little images, but they're having fun, and they're being supported, and they're developing a community, and they ask about each other. If somebody doesn't show up on the chat for a while, everybody starts worrying. Are they okay? Have you heard from them? It's amazing.
And I think that's important. A lot of people say, well, we miss that face-to-face contact, and we do. We definitely, as human beings, we need that, but sometimes we don't have that opportunity with the people around us. And when you can find another tribe, another community where you are understood, you have those relationships, and there is nothing in the world like it. We all, as humans, need those relationships, and the way that you're developing them is absolutely fantastic. Way to go.
No, thank you. It just kind of happened all by itself. I was just posting recorded videos. I've got almost 100 every month. I do daily ones.
Oh my goodness!
I do 12 weekly ones, one for each of the zodiac signs, and one monthly one. So there are like 12 a week, just on Sundays for those, plus the 12 monthly ones, plus the daily ones Monday to Saturday. And Monday to Saturday, it started, I don't know, a few months ago. I was doing my daily one. These are not the streams; these are just the pre-recorded ones. But on one in particular, I said, I just feel compelled to tell you my second favorite joke. So I did. And I'll tell you that in a minute if you want to know what it is. I think it's hilarious. So anyway, I told my second favorite joke. And then I just thought, you know what, I need to do this every day. So a couple of weeks later, I said, so you ready for your daily dose of dopey? And then I went, hey, I like that. So it stuck. So that's what I call it now. It's the daily dose of dopey. So from Monday to Saturday, before I do the little quickie reading, they're just little short videos, but I use an oracle card and tune in and pick up an inspirational message from it. But they have the daily dose of dopey first, and it's always some really silly joke. But I can't believe how well received that's been. And there's been the odd time when I've forgotten it for one reason or another. And I get in the comments, well, where's the daily dose of dopey? You missed the joke today. It's 2 for tomorrow. And it's ridiculous how something so little has made such an impact. But they look forward to these dumb jokes, and then they'll comment on them in the, under the video, or they'll talk about like palm to forehead on that one, but they loved it. It's great.
Oh, I love it.
So do you want to hear my second favorite joke?
Now you have to tell us the joke. Yeah.
Well, it's about a little rabbit who goes tearing off to the doctor yelling, "Doctor, doctor, I got carrots growing out of my ears." And the doctor has a look and says, "Oh my goodness, you have. How did that happen?" And the rabbit says, "I don't know. I planted lettuce."
Oh my goodness.
So that's the quality of jokes you get on my daily dose of dopey from Monday to Saturday.
But you know what? What a fantastic thing to do, because that would make everybody's day. We need to smile more.
Does. Oh, it really does. I love doing stand-up. When I lived in England, and thank God I'm moving back there in a few weeks, but I lived there for several years, and I did a bunch of amateur stand-up comedy, and it always went quite well. And it's so much fun because I'm a big dope, to be honest. I like to be goofy. And my kids used to say it's really hard to parent you, Mom. But life is tough, and I figure you got to laugh where you can. So I am really happy to give people a reason to smile, especially when you know that they're on your channel because they're struggling and they're looking for some inspiration and some encouragement and a little guidance and a little hope. Hope, oh my gosh. Hope can be the difference between life and death, literally, because it's when people are hopeless that they commit suicide.
Yes, that is true. Well, you know what? I want you to share with us all of your social media links so that our listeners can check out your videos, check out how they can get a hold of you. And I like this too. You also have a 30-day mindfulness meditation course. And I know that there is a lot of people out there that are looking for something like that, because it is that moment that we have for ourselves that we can get in tune with ourselves. So I think it's important that you give all that information out to our listeners.
Oh, thank you. Happily. That course, I have to say, too, it's something you download and keep forever. And it's got 30 10-minute meditations for mindfulness that teaches you a lot of different ways to practice mindfulness. So you can pick your favorites, and that makes it easier. And you get to keep it forever. You also get a copy of the PDF of my award-winning book, Meditation Essentials. I threw that in because, I know stuff. So it's good. It's like, it's a good book. Obviously I know stuff, but it's loaded with little tips and tricks that make it super easy. And I used to be one of those people. For years I struggled. I could not meditate for the life of me. And then I started to figure out some really easy things that made it just the simplest thing ever. So I teach all of that in this course. And so, like I said, it's downloadable, both the PDF and the recording, so you keep it forever. So it's like having a meditation instructor in your house for the rest of your life. It's great. And it really does, it changes lives. It improves health and relaxation and well-being and focus and concentration and all kinds of things. And social media, I'm not really good at using most of them yet. I'm trying to get better at that. That's one of my goals for 2019 is to be better at my social media. But pretty much if you just search Liberty Forrest, you'll find me pretty much everywhere. I mean, I am on LinkedIn, but never remember to use it. I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to get the hang of using that. Facebook, definitely I'm there. YouTube, if you just do YouTube and go to YouTube and just search my name, Liberty Forrest with 2 R's, and then Psychic Medium. I think that's actually the name of my channel, Liberty Forrest Psychic Medium. Just my name will get you anywhere. Oh, the other day somebody wrote to me and said, yeah, this is weird even for me, but I was just searching my own name and I came up with you because we have the same name, only she's got a hyphenated surname. She's Forrest something else. And I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, generally, when you hit Liberty Forrest on Google, you'll find a bunch of ways to contact me. Certainly my website, libertyforrest.com. But I'm on Instagram and Twitter and all these other things. I'm not very good at using them yet.
That is okay, Liberty. And we will be posting all of that on our social media links, too, so that people can get a hold of you after they've listened to the show. So that won't be a problem at all. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Liberty, it was such a pleasure having you as my guest today. I hope that, I know that you are moving to England, but perhaps we can get you back on the show sometime soon to talk about what you're doing.
I would love to do that because I've got some fun things happening with put in a good word for me with the powers that be. I'm waiting to hear from this producer at Paramount about one of my novels.
Wow. Well, we're definitely going to have to do that.
Yeah.
We'll have to get you back on the show to talk with us a little bit further on perhaps that topic. Oh, my goodness. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Liberty. It was so much fun today. I had a really great time. It was a perfect show to end 2018.
Thank you very much. Well, one of the most important things to end a year or beginning another year is with that message of hope and the hope that you can turn anything around, no matter how dark and miserable it seems at this point. If you've got a pulse, things can get better. But you just have to decide that you're not going to give up. That's really all hope is. It's just insisting that you're going to find a solution, and that's all it takes.
I love it. I love it. And for any of our listeners that tune in, they'll know my quote that I always do is just keep swimming. That's always been my favorite one for years is just keep swimming, because really we don't know and we just have to keep going. And thank you so much because your message of hope is just an amazing ending for this year. And it's a great start to our 2019. So thank you again so much for being my guest today. And
I love
thank you to all of our amazing listeners. Oh, it was fun. It was so much fun. And thank you to all of our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you. We hope that 2019 brings you much hope and happiness. If you want to check out all of our recorded shows and to take Liberty's show, you can go to divasthatcare.com. And you can pass on this show and all of our others to all your friends and family because there is so many messages of hope and happiness and empowerment and inspiration from all of our amazing divas out there. So make sure that you check them all out. Thank you again for everybody for 2018. It was such an amazing year, and I am so excited for what's going to happen in 2019. So until then, each and every one of you has an amazing day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.